Welcome to the 10-minute trading room. This is how to trade only 10 minutes a day, and this is exactly how to take the guesswork out of trading, and that's what happens when you're live. All right, so with our outlier trading strategy, it always starts with the outlier data, and we're going to see which, actually, I take that back. Before we look into any new trades, we need to go through each one of them and make sure that there are no issues or any reasons that we need to take them off, either hitting our exit points or a stop loss. Sebastian, good to see you. Hey, Sebastian, would you mind just let me know? Can you hear me okay? Had an issue with the mic just a minute ago, but I think it's working now. We have the SPY right now sitting almost, no, it is down a little bit for the day. That's what we want to see. The only thing that isn't working for us right now is JWN and XOP. Everything else is working for us. That's what we want to see today. I did take a look at MMFI. It came up a little bit the day before yesterday, and it's come down just a smidge today. So that's our market breadth, still holding around 50%. So we're going to go through each one of the trades that we have on right now. Sebastian can hear me perfectly. Thank you, sir. And we're going to go through each one of these trades that we have on right now and see if we have any exit points that we need to take off. Otherwise, that's going to be it for today because, like I say, I am completely 100% in, and I didn't find any new trades set up on the day. So let's go through each one. So SPY, we don't have a MACD crossover. We're not hitting the 2 ATR stop loss. In fact, let me rename that 2 ATR. I had it marked from the trade we had on a couple weeks ago. Let's go look at SPY real quick on outlier. We're going to go to the outlier heat map. We're basically looking to see if it shows in an oversold condition at this point, or if the colors start moving against us, I guess you could say, right? So we're going from dark green into a lighter green. That's what we want to see. If it goes back to a darker green, then we got to get out. But all is looking good on SPY. No changes there. Let's go to PIN Entertainment. The MACD is not crossed over. We're not at the 2 ATR stop point. Let's go look at PIN. And you'll see right now that's changed from green to pink. That's what we want to see, but it hasn't reached the stop point that we got to get out. Oh, Sebastian, dude, this keyboard is so freaking loud. It's a nice mechanical keyboard. And I've never had a mechanical keyboard before, but boy, I tell you what, it makes a big difference as far as the sound goes. Let's go to KRE. That's funny. You must be one of those keyboard guys that loves listening to them. I never thought about it, never really was a thing until I got this, and I'm like, why is this so loud? And I discovered there's whole like subculture of people that are into keyboard sounds. So looking at KRE, this is in the sell category. And like we talked about a minute ago, working towards a lighter green, all of that looks good. And once it reaches a lightest green, it'll start going into pink. So all of that looks great. Brian, good to see you. We've gone through everything so far with nothing to take off. We're going to XLK next. XLK, MACD's not crossed over, not at our 2 ATR stop loss point. Let's go to XLK. That was ZLK, not XLK. And we can see the heat map on this. The darker the green, the stronger the signal. So like a dark pink down here, dark red down there, the stronger the signal, right? And so that's what we have up here. So very strong sell signal at the top. And as we can see here, nothing's really, I mean, it's basically gone a little bit sideways since we got in, but we do not have an exit point on this yet. JWN. MACD's not crossed over, not at the 2 ATR stop point yet. JWN. All right, moving in the direction that we want to see. It was in the green, moving to lighter shade of green. And this one has definitely gone against us, but we have not reached an exit point on that yet. KBE. MACD's not crossed over, not at the 2 ATR stop point. Let's go to KBE. Sebastian's not into it, but he does like one. But you have one like it, I see, gotcha. Okay, so Sebastian, well, we got a second. I had to get a new mouse and keyboard not all that long ago. Because I'm a giant nerd, as you know, and I have two 3D printers. I have the filament based kind, and then I have a resin based kind. And the filament kind is just great. You load in the plastic, it melts it, everything's fine. The resin one is really cool because you have a little vat that's probably just this tall, and you fill it with goo, resin goo, and then it builds the whatever you're printing up out of it. It's honestly like magic. It takes goo and makes it into like a real thing. Like this phone holder that I have here was something I 3D printed. Anyway, the resin is toxic, and I was really honestly inconsiderate of how toxic it was, and so I would just like not use gloves or anything, which you are supposed to use gloves. And one day I had resin on my fingers. I didn't even know it, and I'm using my computer, and I come back later, and like I could not get it off my computer. Like I felt it on there all the time, and I'm like, I think I've ruined this. So I got wipes, like baby wipes or whatever, and I'm trying to wipe it off. And as I'm wiping it, I'm taking away like the for example, like on my mouse, I was just like peeling off the black paint, and I'm like, wow, I think I've really messed up here. So that lesson cost me a couple dollars to definitely take the safety precautions that you're supposed to. So anyway, tangent aside, KBE. This is looking good, going from darker green to lighter green, and going over to CMA. I had a chat with the Outlier people this morning, and oh gosh, I don't know if I can remember. They were telling me how they bought puts in a stock, and it was like not working for them. And he's like, man, I really learned a lesson on this one. And I was like, well, what was it? And it was VSH. He bought puts on this date right here, because that was the sell signal. In fact, let's go to it. And I was like, all right, man. I went through this and like back tested the mess out of it to figure out what works. And I said, the reason that did not work is because you got the sell signal here, but you didn't keep in mind the fact that it was already in a strong uptrend, right? Like it was up and going up still. Everything that we do is on the same side of the trend. So if we go back to our main list, go back to, what were we on? KBE, CMA. You'll see, even though right now it's like hovering back and forth over and under its 10 period EMA, we did not enter unless it was under the EMA. And so that's what I say when I talk about the double back testing, is going through each one and making sure that, hey, does this work historically? Yeah. Okay, cool. That doesn't mean it's going to work out this time, and I can never make that promise, but historically speaking, that is a strategy that really has a favorable outcome. In fact, on CMA, it had 5 out of 7 winners. The average trade of the 7 was an 11% return, which is pretty cool. Including the losers, the average return was 11%. So here we have the sell signal here, and it's still in green, not going anywhere just yet. So CMA looks good. SCHD. So for example, 5 out of 5 winners, 2.3% average return. SCHD, we don't have MACD crossed over. We don't have the ATR stop loss being broken. 2 ATR stop loss. I mean, it's a boring day. Today we're just looking at what we have on, making sure nothing is to an exit point, and then going on, right? That's 10-minute trading right there. As you can see here, we are still in the greens, but getting a light green, so that's good. Last two is XOP, not at the 2 ATR stop loss, not crossed over. It is getting closer, but it's not crossed over yet. XOP. I'll tell you, after watching the news in Ukraine over the weekend, or not in Ukraine, in Russia over the weekend, I was like, man, either one of two things is going to happen on Monday morning. Either futures are going to just vomit and just totally die, or they're going to go sky high. The fact that they did nothing, I thought that was pretty interesting. And I think a lot of people were surprised the fact that they just like kind of went sideways. Sell point here, going from a little bit darker green to lighter green. Final one, XLF. We put this on yesterday. MACD's good. ATR stop loss, 2 ATR stop loss is good. So I have a lot of contacts in the financial industry, and I talk to a lot of people in the financial industry on a daily basis. And to see a lot of outlier signals, as you can see, this one's good here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that was XLE. We're looking at XLF. What we have seen recently is a lot of short signals coming through on financial sectors. So I don't know what that means, right? The Fed has kind of said we're pausing for a moment, but we're going to continue raising rates. Higher rates is not good for anybody, right? Higher rates mean that you and I are going to take out loans at higher rates, which doesn't help. The amount of products and services and inventory that's going to be sold is going to be less, which is what the ultimate goal is, to drive down prices. Because if the financing costs more, then the prices have to cost less in order to get the same demand. But also, whenever rates go higher, for institutions that were smart and didn't have longer dated investments, they're going to be fine. They're going to be, making money hand over fist. But when I see places like Goldman Sachs, who should have known better, having their third round of layoffs, it makes me wonder what's still going on out there. In fact, let's go to Goldman Sachs real quick. I think I heard some news about them the other day. Oh yeah, look at them. Yeah, Goldman Sachs has had a real steep runoff. Let's go from that top to here. 10% within about 2 weeks. So I don't know what's going on out there in the financial sector, but the stock prices are showing that there is a lot of weakness in the financial sector. So only time will tell.